What a wonderful 4 weeks we have just experienced with Engage. I believe that individually and collectively as a congregation, we have engaged in the presence, the purpose, and the power of God. I believe that what took place on Sunday with Brother Green in both services was a testimony of the effectiveness of these last 4 weeks. In fact, Sunday night after service, as we were fellowshipping some, Brother Green expressed to me the very positive place that he felt like we were at as a congregation. But that's not the destination. I am standing with Annapolis in the background, actually for a couple reasons, but June 20th, 1991, it was a Thursday, and I had gone out that day and purchased an engagement ring. And Brother Grossbach happened to be in town ministering. He preached that Thursday evening. And as I was sitting in service that night, the ring was figuratively burning a hole in my pocket. I have to say I'm very thankful that I got engaged pre-Pinterest, pre-social media. You didn't have to have a camera crew, you didn't have to have a crowd. It was just a private, special moment between two people. And so I really didn't know when I was going to pop the question, but sitting through service that night, it was more than I could take. So somewhat spur of the moment, Angie and I went downtown Annapolis and got on a water taxi and started riding around in the harbor downtown Annapolis. And in a few moments, I reached into my pocket and pulled out the box with the ring and kind of pushed it into her hand. And hopefully this doesn't make it unofficial. I didn't get down on a knee. I just sat there beside her and I popped the question. And very thankfully she said yes. What a very memorable moment, very important moment. No doubt engagement for a couple, getting engaged, is extremely significant, but it really is only it's a starting point. I guess to a degree it's not a starting point. You've already started somewhat of a relationship by the time you get engaged, but it's a very significant moment in terms of the future. You are making a more significant commitment, but again, that wasn't the goal. Getting engaged was not my goal. Getting engaged was just simply because I wanted to get married. I wanted to build a relationship. I wanted to build a family. And here we are 29 years later, having been very blessed to experience all of that. So we have engaged these last 4 weeks, and what a awesome time it has been. But let's not make engage in these last 4 weeks the destination. Let's let it be a launching, or to some degree, a relaunching as we move forward into the things that God has for us. Sunday night in part of Brother Green's ministry, he talked about preaching. He talked about there. And we all need to find our there. It's really our there that is going to help keep these 4 weeks of Engage going. And we were at lunch yesterday, fellowshipping with the Greens for a little while. And in the course of conversation, Brother Green was talking about where Jesus' pulpits were and where Paul's pulpits were, and the fact that they weren't inside of a church building. Now, I believe very strongly there is a purpose and a place for what we call the pulpit in a church service, in a church building, if we're able to have that. But again, that's not the only pulpit, and in fact, most people will never preach behind that pulpit. But there is, for all of us, a pulpit Maybe not just one pulpit. Maybe it's in various places, various locations. I wanted to record this video wrap-up today, not from the building. We've done it from my office, from the sanctuary, from my house. But I felt the significance of this was to be kind of out where the there is. Again, behind me is downtown Annapolis, and out over this overlook, you can see kind of the heart of Annapolis, but it's just representative of a much broader region that we as a congregation have been called by God to reach. So let's keep pursuing our there. Let's find out, not just necessarily a one-time thing and not necessarily a set location. We all have, I think most of us should have some form of ministry that we are committed to, we are regularly a part of. But as I have referenced over the last couple of months, I think actually in one of the videos, or actually it was, I think, on a call with our deacons, we should never limit ministry and God flowing through us to a formal setting, a scheduled time. It can happen any place, it can happen anytime. So I believe we have engaged. I feel like so many have fully put themselves into these last 4 weeks and sincerely given yourself to what we've done. You've read the scripture passages, you've watched the videos, you've listened to the songs, and you've prayed and you've fasted. And let's let that be, again, the launching. We may move on from the word engage, but we're not moving on from what God has done. We're just putting into practice what God has done. So let's keep moving forward. Let's keep engaging. Let's not make it a one-hit wonder for the last couple of weeks. Let's go.